Well, he kicked deep for the corner post, and immediately Australia inside the Scottish 22. Four-man line out here for John Beattie, number 8. Alan Tomes, number 5 for Scotland. Cuthbertson and Jeffrey, the others in the line-out. Cutler got a hand to it. Taken by Farr Jones to Ella. Right foot field goal attempt. Scotland come away through Laidlaw. Here's Campese. Well, that's the strangest looking field goal attempt I think I've seen in international rugby. It went about 7 centimetres.
Yes, I think Mark would want to forget that one. I think both teams will start off very early, try and get down the opposition's half. Both teams will be very nervous and be looking for the penalties early.
Not in straight. Well, Mark Yellow hasn't really been touched by a flanker on this tour. The Scots are going to have something to say about that this afternoon. Roy Laidlaw, number 9 for Scotland. Their most capped scrum half. 28 caps for the Scots, 4 for the British Lions. A danger man this afternoon for Australia.
This referee we had in the London Counties game, he's a real stickler for the front row on the scrum. You saw him there having a look at them, and there'll be no problems with the scrum later on today.
Laidlaw chips over the top to Campese. Off he goes. Lovely work by Campese. Long pass to Ella. But Campese spoiled it all with that high pass. Ella couldn't quite get to it. But again, he beats 2 or 3 men. Slippery ball this afternoon. Light rain still falling. Halfway line away to the right. Wiley with space. Baird. He's put that one out on the full. Roger Baird, the grain merchant from Kelso, scoring 6 tries for the Lions in New Zealand in 1983. None for Scotland. Scotland in control. Wiley. A tester for Roger Gould. Gould took it well. Players in front of the kicker, it looks like. Right back over the halfway line.
I think you'll see a lot of this play from Scotland. I don't think they'll attempt to run the ball at all early. I think you'll see them bang it into the corners and put the high balls up and try to keep the ball at the feet, particularly now that it's raining.
Australia having a big weight advantage in the scrums, nearly 60 kilograms. Great battle on this side between Gregor McKenzie and Andy McIntyre. Dodds. Well, we told you it was a slippery ball. Peter Dodds would agree. A couple of handling errors in the early stages.
This is where I think the Australians should very much dominate the game. Australia's got a very good line out here. We've got 4 good jumpers. And the Scottish team's gone more for a scrummaging side rather than a line outside, except maybe down the back where they've got Beattie and another high flanker.
Williams sets up. Offside play Scotland. Bill Cuthbertson coming around on the wrong side. And who's going to come up for goal? It looks like Michael Lynagh. Lynagh kicked in the first 2 internationals against England and Ireland. His record was 4 out of 14. Gould took over against Wales and kicked 5 out of 7. So this has to be regarded as something of a gamble. Has Michael Lynagh regained his goal-kicking poise? This one, 15 metres in, 25 metres out. Five minutes of play gone in this first half. Liner is the leading point scorer on tour with 64. Beautiful kick.
It's a great way to start that. A lot of confidence from Michael Liner. Couldn't think of a greater start for Australia.
Plenty of Australian supporters here this afternoon. Several supporters tours. And Michael Hawker will be later telling you about some of the hundreds of telegrams received by the Australians. So it's Doug Wiley with the kickoff. Australia in the lead by 3-0. Lost ahead by Rodriguez. Play advantage, Laidlaw. Wrapped up by Cody. Good tackle. Scotland rucking the ball. Australia offside, right in front of the posts. And now Peter Dodds with a straightforward attempt. 30 metres out, directly in front.
Rodriguez will be very upset with that. The Australian team in the last 2 or 3 weeks has very much tried to play within the rules and not to give away penalties. As over here, they can be very dangerous, and the way these blokes kick goals, you just can't afford to give away this sort of penalty, particularly in kicking range.
We saw Peter Dodds miss one from this position against the Australians for south of Scotland. This to level the scores after 7 minutes of play. Flags are up. Costly error there by the Australians. Peter Dodds, a record 50 points for Scotland in the Grand Slam Championship. In the last game against France, he broke Andy Irvin's record with 17 points, the highest ever by a Scot in a Five Nations match. Nearly a knock-on. Wiley taking play just outside the 22 and not happy with that kick. Right on the 22-metre line. Australia has won only once here at Murrayfield, back in 1947. Scotland have it. Knock forward Australia. Nearly 9 minutes of play in this first half. Australia wheeling the Scottish scrum. They've been turned. Laidlaw comes away and does well. A lot of experience there from the Scots. John Beattie in the back row, not losing his composure. Midway, 22 and halfway, Scotland's territory. Bouncing around like a basketball match. Bad kick by Laidlaw. And again, the Australians knocking forward from the line out. Chance now for the Scots to clear play from outside their 22.
I think Australia will be a bit disappointed there. They've had 2 throw-ins the line-out. Once they had the 3 big jumpers down the back. And the second time they're throwing a Cutler in the middle, and both times they lost the ball forward. And I think they need a bit more protection for the jumpers. And I also think that Tommy Lawton might have a little bit of trouble throwing the ball in the present time, the ball being slippery as it is.
Referee speaking to Steve Cutler. Andrew Slack intervening. But the penalty goes to Scotland. Very hard to see what that one was about. And now it's another long-range attempt. And this looks like Peter Stephen, the new cap, 15 metres in from touch. He's been a very valuable player in the Scottish squad, alternating between fullback and wing. This one, a mammoth task. It's a huge kick but won't have the distance. Gould. That one's got the distance.
An enormous kick there from Roger Gould. In fact, Bill McLaren, the Scottish commentator, said about Roger Gould that he kicks the ball like the 1 o'clock gun at Edinburgh Castle. And so true it is.
8 metres from the halfway line. 11.5 minutes elapsed in the first half. 3-3 the score. Rodriguez sweeping at the front. Here's Ella. Liner. It's a big kick. Just inside the touchline. What a kick by Liner. Only a couple of centimetres inside that touchline. Australia inside the Scottish 22. Alan Jones has had Liner working on those angle kicks from the open side. Bit of pushing going on in the line out there. Australia appeared to be pushed out of the way. The Scots doing their best to disrupt the Australian Giraffes. 18 metres out. Mark Ella. He's lost the ball. Bad mistake by Ella. Well, that's the first time I've seen him drop the ball on this entire tour. And I think that indicates the nerves out there at the moment.
Of the Rugby Club, please collect his son from the police caravan at the rear of the stand.
Scottish come in a bit of bother there. Here's Roger Gould. Maybe he'll go for a field goal. Didn't quite have the time. He's running everyone onside. Gould knocks it back for Australia. Jeffrey went in on the loose ball. The Australians just stood around that time. .5 minutes gone in the first half.
The Australian team's taking a little bit longer than I thought they would to get into the game. There's been a few mistakes early on. And they've really got to put something on the board here. We need a few points.
The Scots wheeling the scrum that time. Ella with another chance. Gould almost go. Oh yes, Slack. Campese. He's over.
Superb try there, Roger Gould being tackled by a couple of men and managing to get it away to Slacky in the clear. And a lovely pass for Slacky out to Campese.
Well, a timely try for the Australians. Watch Roger Gould here as he crashes into the Scottish backs.
You see there a move where they run the inside backs up very flat and a quick pass to Roger across Michael Liner. And it shows the value of running very straight and get outside your man out wide.
And wasn't that glorious play too by the Australian skipper Andy Slack? I haven't seen him make one flaw on this tour. His play has been very understated, but he does everything right.
Those points there are very important to Australia. With the rain continuing to fall, the ball will get increasingly difficult to handle and the ground will become a bit heavier. And the more points you can score while the ball is reasonably dry and light, the better it can be.
So Liner right on the touchline. Beautiful striker of the ball. What about that?
I don't think he'll miss many today.
Now watch the pass here from Ella de Gould. He crashes through and got the pass away as he was going down. Again, something the Australians have practiced. And Campese with a little stutter step. Too much pace there for Stephen and momentum. And it's Australia with a 6-point lead after 15.5 minutes. Still the rain coming down. Steve Williams underneath. Lost the ball ahead. So twice from that kickoff, the Australians have given away possession. They'll have to tidy up in that area. Scottish scrum has collapsed. Deliberately, says the referee. Pressure coming on from the Australian 8. And fine work there by the Australian forwards. Colin Dean's getting up rather gingerly. He's regarded as the fittest and fastest hooker, number 2 in the world. And Gould's just kicked another mammoth one. Didn't find touch. Dodds. Still, it's a big gain for Australia, and they had to throw into the line out.
We've decided on a few times there, and Rogers close to the sideline, not to kick it out, but to kick as far as he can, so that they can kick it back and hope they can't kick it back as far as we've kicked it to them.
Oh, great jump by Williams at the front. Ella. High kick. Liner coming through on Dodds. He was in the air, he can't mark it. Scotland in big trouble here. Australia drive in. Look at that surge. Finally judged kick there by Mark Ella. Will the Australians call their Samson move, the pushover movement? Under the hooker's feet there. Free kick to Scotland. Crucial mistake. That really was a bad error by the Australians. Riley's kick taking play up towards halfway, and that should have been a try-scoring situation there for the Wallabies.
Yes, can ill afford errors like that, and Slacky will be very upset with that.
Australia leading by 9 points to 3. One by Cody to Far Jones to Poitevin. And the Australians ruled offside there. Seven metres from the halfway line. Another nice kick by Wiley. He played soccer for the England Schools under-15 team. That was 7 years ago. He's a handy man with his boot. Australia allowing Scotland to come back into the game. Cutler couldn't take it. He got a nudge as he went up to the ball. Wiley hoists. A tester for Gould. Robertson's there. Oh, Gould was knocked straight out of the way without the ball. Well played, Far Jones. Well, the referee must have been obscured. That's all I can say. Amazing non-decision there. Again, the Australians mistiming their jump. We're on the 10-metre line. Australian territory, and now halfway through this first term. The rain has ceased. but quite dark here at Murrayfield. Lineside movement. Poitevin mauls the ball away for Australia. Well, just not quite the support in numbers there for Simon Poitevin, who reaped that ball away. Keith Robertson running back to his position. Another big push from the Australians. Kennedy crashing into the gold jerseys. Jeffrey down on the loose ball. Chance here for Scotland. Tyneman goes in. Mark Ella. Ball still in play. Here comes Dodds. It's going to bounce. Scotland clear. Fine kick by Wiley. Gould saves in the nick of time.
You can see that from that phase of play. It's going to be a very tired game and a very tough sort of game, this. Of all the nations that play the rugby over here, the Scots are by far the hardest, most physical team, and I think you'll see this a very physical game.
Scots winning a lot of this loose ball on the ground. Jeffrey prominent in the early stages.
I think Nick Farr-Jones will be kicking himself at the moment because all this pressure's come on from 2 silly penalties earlier on.
Calder, he was tackled and held onto the ball. He was hoping the referee hadn't seen it, but Mr. Hilditch right on the spot. Scott's not retiring the 10. Well, that's a bit like inviting Greg Norman to hit off from the ladies' tee. But not always does Greg Norman, I suppose, hit it sweetly. Alan Tomes and Bill Cuthbertson marking Williams and Cutler. Lost ahead by Calder. Australian ball. Mark Ella. Hurried kick across field. Campese chasing through here. Stephen there, so is Dodds. Almost a mix-up. Midway, 22 and halfway, Scottish territory. Combs at the back. Loose ball for Laidlaw. Calder picked up. Australia will be looking for the drive, but Scotland clears. Near capacity crowd here at Murrayfield. Australia in search of its first ever Grand Slam. Scotland doing well in these lineouts, but holding the man down there. There's been quite a bit of illegal play by the Scots in particular at the lineout to counter the Australian tall men. But now Liner, who has kicked one from the right-hand side, another from touch, attempting his third shot at goal.
I think Gordon and the Scots will try anything to win the game. I mean, I think they think they're underdogs, and if they can get away with it, they'll say, why not?
This would be a very handy lead for the Australians. Liner has scored a try in 2 of the 3 internationals. .37 metres out. 15 metres in from the far touchline. Another good-looking kick. What a display by the 20-year-old Michael Lynagh from the University of Queensland. 3 out of 3. Paul McLean would be proud of him. It was Paul McLean indeed who blitzed the Scots at the SCG back in 1982, kicking a record 21 points for Australia in the 33-9 victory. Only 2 survivors in that Australian team today, Roger Gould and Peter Grigg. Cutler. Australia set up. McIntyre trying to pull Mackenzie, who was standing offside. That was a pretty harmless incident. Mackenzie on this side of them all was offside. Andy McIntyre, in frustration, threw his forearm, but it was not a punch. The crowd reacted. The touch judge, to me, seemed to follow suit. But the Australians most unfortunate there, as all McIntyre was trying to do was put the Scottish forward back onside.
Yeah, it's a little bit inexperienced there from the referee. It's his first major international, and I think he's reacted with the crowd. I also think, though, it's a silly sort of thing to do when you're within kicking range. I mean, that sort of thing can always be penalised, and I think Andy Mack could be kicking himself for that. The trouble we've had in this game so far is from silly penalties, and I think all the players have to think about not giving any more away.
Peter Dodds, Scottish point-scoring machine. And the ball has fallen over. Australia leading by 12 points to 3. A try by Campese, converted by Michael Lynagh, who has also kicked 2 penalty goals. Dodds' only penalty so far from in front, but this one would give the Scots great heart. 27 minutes gone in the first half. Difficult kick, but on his favoured side. He's got it. The Australians, perhaps unfortunate there, but you can't afford to chance anything inside your own half with a man like Dodds booting the ball between the sticks. Rain coming down again here at Murrayfield. Australia leads 12-6. Peter Dodds taking play to within 10 metres of the halfway line. Simon Poitevin at the back, opposed to Jim Calder. Well won by Cutler. Australia winning the line out, not able to clear, but gaining the scrum feed. Referee tending to give the scrum feed to the side with the ball in control, despite the fact that they may be under a bit of pressure. Mark Ella, liner. Same tactics, another big kick. A little too deep that time. Very long dead ball lines here at Murrayfield. Exactly the length of a cricket pitch. Wiley. Australians letting it bounce. Farr Jones. Grigg mauls it back. Tyneman knocks on. Jeffrey toes into touch. The referee says the man was offside. The referee saying that Rodriguez toed it into touch. It appeared to be number 7 there, Jeffrey, a Scottish foot. So the referee, again, not pleasing the Australians. Wiley is going to have another long-range shot. Steve Tyneman, who was out at halfback that time as Nick Farr-Jones was caught in the maul, having some running repairs.
Despite being 12 points to 6 up at the present time, I don't think Andy Slack can be very happy with performance at the moment. There's been far too many errors, and if they're not careful, and we'll see what happened, and same thing will happen as what happened in 1981 when Scotland managed to kick their way back into the game.
Dodds hasn't found touch. Gould hoists it down the field, looking for territory. Wiley. He's following. Scotland all inside the 10 metres. All inside the 10 metres. Jim Calder made no attempt, and fortunately the referee has picked it up. That's bad play there by Calder, a man of his experience. 24 caps, including one for the Lions. Gould in on the blind side. Farr-Jones to Gould. He goes through to Grigg. Tyneman. Lawton. Good ball for Australia. Ella. Liner. Pass knocked down by Scotland. Gould. Where's the ball? Well, the Australians had a golden attacking opportunity there, but desperate defence from Scotland forced the error. The Wallabies in the lead by 12 points to 6. 32 minutes gone in this first half. Still light drizzle falling. Tight head for Australia. Ella. Room here for the Australians. That is rather poor play there from Australia. They had an overlap and the kick out on the full. Alan Tomes up towards the middle. Poitevin and Tyneman ruled offside at that line-out. Penalties favouring Scotland by 7-4. And now it's Peter Dodds with a long-range shot from 45 metres.
A bit of a test here for Michael Liner. He's had two things which just haven't quite gone his way in the last couple of minutes. And it's a trait of a good player if he can come right back and start putting him back onto the board.
Peter Dodds with a kick that will bring Scotland to within 3 points of Australia. Andy Irvine scored 17 against Australia at Murrayfield in 1982. Let's hope it's not a repetition of that performance today. Nice looking kick. He's got it. The Wallabies frittering away a 9-point lead. Conceding penalties within kicking range, and Deadeye Dodds, as they call him, has made it 3 from 4 attempts. Australia now 3 points in the lead. Dodds. So the Scots are real predators. They wait for the opposition mistakes. They concede very few penalties themselves. Farr-Jones. No halfback for Australia. Rodriguez will be there. Ella. Poitevin setting up play. Solid tackle by Kennedy. Australia want this one. Well, Ewan Kennedy, who tackled Poitevin there, is Scotland's answer to Steve Cutler. There he is, the last man getting up. He is 6'5".
Well, Australia's produced a good scoring opportunity here. Put the ball right in the middle of the field. Let's hope they can do something with it.
Mark Ella. Gould, they're flat-footed. Grigg goes down on the ball. Who wants it? Picked up by Calder, who turns it on the Scottish side. Hand in the ruck by Australia. But the Australian backs flat-footed that time.
Yes, I think it's becoming a legacy of the condition of the ball now. I think it's becoming a bit more heavier and a bit slipperier. And I think they're going to have to change their tactics a little bit and put the forwards onside rather than get them running back behind the gain line.
Wiley takes play over the halfway line. Same line-out position where Australia conceded a penalty, which led to Dodds' third goal. Midway, 22 and halfway. Ball like a piece of soap now. Deans appeared to get a hand to that. Knock on. But a very dangerous man from the front of the line out, Colin Deans. Australia having the edge in the scrummaging so far. But the Scots, the sort of side that just hang in there. Poitevin looking towards the touch judge. McKenzie on this side having trouble holding his end up. The Scots are outweighed. But they're pulling out every trick in the book at the moment. Good mauling by the Australians. Poitevin. The referee may have been ruling accidental offside there.
Yes, he's ruled one of the forwards in front of Poitevin.
Wiley. He'll hoist it. Baird coming through on Gould. Well, Gould was off up the field, but another fine take by the big Australian fullback. Well, Roger Gould's family will be delighted to learn, I suppose, that he's returning to the workforce after 4 years of constant rugby around the world. He's put another big one downfield. And Dodds' kick, 8 metres from halfway.
You see there again, Rogers just kicked it straight down the middle of the field and gained a good 60 yards with his kick. And overall 40 yards with the throw.
2 minutes before half-time. Things looking a little ominous, though, for the Australians. 12-9 in the lead. You've got to try and cut out these mistakes and put the pressure back on Scotland. Cutler won it well. Dean's coming through quickly. Mauled by the Australians. Poitevin doing well. This is good play, Australia. Good control by the Australian forwards.
That's better football there, and I think they have decided to change the tactics a little bit, run around the blind side with the forwards and get in front of the advantage line.
Good scrum ball for the Australians. Campese. Grigg. Gould. Ella. Back to Grigg. Farr Jones still in play. Australia have it again. The Australians spreading the ball wide, but it's pretty difficult in these conditions. Only a minute before half-time and a tight head to Scotland. Australia caught offside. Well, I haven't seen so many errors from the Australians, certainly in these preceding internationals. There have been some silly mistakes today. Half-time whistle about to go. There it is. So at half-time, Australia leading Scotland by 12 points to 9. So the second half underway, Australia leading 12-9 at half-time. Australia has been either ahead or level at half-time in all of the internationals on this tour. But they also led, remember, in 1982 against the Scots after scoring 2 very good tries in the first half. Cutler went high to Cody, smashing his way through. Gould inside his 22. Peter Stephen. Not one of Gould's best kicks, that one. Mark Ella. Took it nicely on his chest. Campese. And that's a nice kick, sailing over the touchline into Scottish territory.
First 10 minutes of this half will be probably the most important 10 minutes of the game. I think the team which shows their authority in the 10 minutes will probably come out winners of the game.
Australia playing against a slight breeze in the second half. Another good line-out ball for the Wallabies. They have it in control. And they'll get the scrum beat. First time we've struck these conditions in the internationals. Just what the Australians didn't want. And it's against the Australian hooker there for being down on one knee. Australia had the ball. So another bad mistake. Penalties now favouring Scotland by 10 to 5. The Scots haven't played any football at all. They've just preyed off the Australian mistakes.
That's right. I don't think the Scottish team will do that much enterprising. I think they'll very much try and bustle Australia into errors, and it's the only way we'll be beaten is to beat ourselves.
Another good line-out win for Australia. That's the third in a row after the break. Gould. Scottish backs caught offside, and Australia will be very pleased to get the ball away from this zone. They're going to now spread it on this side, the open side, but Liner's kick didn't quite have the angle. No risks from Jim Calder, and good play Australia.
It's good play from Australia, and takes a bit of guts to do that, throw the wet ball around, but they saw the big space down the left-hand side of the field, and they played it to Michael Liner, who put it away quite comfortably.
Poitevin and Calder. Right at the back of the line-out. And that's a deliberate knock ahead there by the Australians. Not deliberate, but knocked ahead. Deliberate would result in a penalty. Australia leading by 12 points to 9. Nearly 4 minutes gone in the second half. The Scottish scrum now rock solid. Sliding off the side though from Wiley, and Australia actually gaining territory that time.
Yes, I think Laidlaw and Wiley be the halves I'd be putting tremendous pressure on. Laidlaw's pass isn't that long on the wet conditions, and Wiley and Newcap, I think that's where the Scottish team could be broken down by winning any possession.
Deliberate charging in the line out. And another crucial kick here for the Australians. Michael Liner. This is about the perfect spot, really, apart from in front for the around the corner kicker. Liner 15 metres in.
I don't think Gordon, as many goal kickers, think there's ever a perfect spot.
I was watching Topo Rodriguez at training, and he was kicking around the corner left foot and putting them over from 40 metres out. He's a pretty versatile man, isn't he?
Yes, I don't think he knows which foot he wants to kick them with.
It's a nice situation to be in.
We'd be in desperate straits if we needed Topo to kick goals.
Vital kick for Australia. 5 minutes gone in the second half. This to give us a 6-point lead. Lovely one from Liner. Well, what an immaculate display from the young man. A master stroke too by the Australian team and the coach Alan Jones in restoring Liner to the goal kicking. Everyone so far has really bisected the posts. Interesting point that Liner kicked his first penalty goal after 5.5 minutes of the first half. He's done exactly the same in the second. This is Liner. Long one down to Wiley. 10 metres from halfway. He'll put it back. Gould calling for it. And Roger Gould, well, as safe as the Bank of England. His form on this tour has been quite majestic and is now ranked as close to being the world's #1 fullback.
Yes, I don't know why they keep bother kicking him the ball, because he always repays them with interest.
Well, there hasn't been the same atmosphere here at Murrayfield as we saw last week. The euphoria at Cardiff Arms Park. Good win by Tomes at the back. Australia coming through. And that really was a loose tap by Alan Tomes, known as Toomba, to teammates. Cuthbertson the last man up. The Scots have stuck to their guns in the scrums. Technically a very sound unit. Barr Jones in trouble. Caught by the Scottish back row. Tyneman, though, mauling for Australia.
Yes, the Australians tried an interesting move there. They tried to use the referee, as they did in Wales. Tyneman comes off the back and gives it to Farr Jones, who's gone around the referee to stop the Scotsman's getting at him, but the referee moved back before he could get there.
Laidlaw caught. He must release. He didn't. So a bad mistake by the Jed Forrest halfback, the Scottish captain, and Liner now with a kick only 5 metres away from where he put that last one through. And this would give Australia a 9-point lead. The Scots declined to play Australia, incidentally, when the first Wallabies came here in 1907. Among the reasons given were doubts about the amateur status of the Australian players, who received weekly out-of-pocket expenses. After that tour, 13 of the Wallabies switched to rugby league. So the first game between Australia and Scotland didn't take place until 1947 here at Murrayfield, and that has been Australia's only win here.
The Scots must have been as tight then as they are now.
Can Liner make it 5 out of 5? Unbelievable. Sensational goal-kicking performance by young Michael Liner.
Yes, he's hitting them very sweetly at the moment. A very happy man.
Australia 9 points ahead. 10 minutes gone now in the second half. The Wallabies 30 minutes away from rugby immortality. Can they do it? Steve Williams, caught by Jeffrey. Gould. .35 metres out from the Australian goal line. Two-man line out with John Beattie, number 8. The British line to South Africa in 1980. Alan Tomes at the front. Beattie on his own to Calder. His telecast going all over Australia and live to New Zealand. Charged down by Liner. Australia could come away here. Yes, Graham Murray's All Black side, the only New Zealand side in 1978 to win the Grand Slam. And they were the 8th major touring side from New Zealand. At the moment, we're watching the 8th Wallabies. Can they duplicate that effort by Murray's side in 1978? The South African Springboks have won the Grand Slam 4 times here. David Cody penalised. Apparently he wasn't attached to the scrum. So Dodds, 38 metres out, directly in front. A chance to peg back the Australian lead.
I don't think the referee's helping anyone by holding their scrum down there as long as it is. He's far better off letting him get the ball in and get it away.
Colin Dean's feeling his side. He led the South of Scotland to their 9-6 victory over the Australians last week. Andrew Slack had just come up to query the referee's decision. Dodds in front, 38 metres out, 12 minutes gone in the second half. Australia leading 18-9. It's another good one. Six points in it. Australia's 18 points, incidentally, is their highest ever score at Murrayfield, surpassing the 16-7 victory here in 1947. No angle there for Dodds. Here's Mark Ella. Campese, bit of space here. He's following. He'll have to go for it. Well taken by Beattie. Fine take by the Scottish number 8. Australia have it. There's an overlap here. Slack. Tyneman. Slack again. Well, the Australians cribbed a little across field there. Straighter running was the order of the day, but they've won the scrum feed.
I think the Australians were getting a bit disappointed with the referee and not letting the ball come out either. A number of times the ball's just come out and he's blown the whistle.
Ella. Gould. Slack. Farr Jones knocked it back. Australia have it. Mark Ella. Gould. Overlap for Campese. Mark Ella. He's done it. A try in every test match. The first time in history. Mark Ella. The toast of Australia. He can't believe it.
He did it here in the schoolboys and he's now done it international side. What a fantastic effort.
A moment that will never be forgotten in Australian rugby. Watch Mark Ella here. Gould crashing in again.
We see there the typical flick move in from Mark Ella. I thought we were going to get in with Roger, but he got caught, comes back the blind side.
They really
And a great pass here back inside to Mark Ella. And it shows the great value of keep backing up, which Mark Ella does so well.
And the two record holders today in Australian Rugby Union, Roger Gould and Mark Ella, in concert that time. Both becoming the highest cap players in major internationals in their respective positions. Ella has scored a try in every international. This is his last test match, we are led to believe. What a note to go out on. Liner, who's kicked 5 out of 5. He's done it again. This is the greatest goal-kicking performance I've seen in test matches. Michael Liner, 6 out of 6.
Here you see here that the gap that Roger Gould provides here for Mark Ella. Roger draws both those players across. And a lovely inside pass. Good call from Mark Ella. And no one in front.
Well, Mark Ella has been troubled by a hamstring injury. Sid Sugarman, the doctor, told him not to go flat out at training during the week. Ella replied, I haven't been flat out in the last 3 years.
Until he'll be flat out tonight too. Be a hard man to keep pace with.
Campese scored for Australia in the 14th minute of the first half. Mark Ella has scored for Australia in the 14th minute of the second half. So it's an exact replica. Australia leading by 24-12. Surely they can't lose it from here. Williams thumped in the back. Roger Gould.
The big thing now for the Australian side is not to rest on the laurels, but to really drive the nails into the coffin and get very aggressive. And I'd like to see another 10 points on the scoreboard by the time these fellas come off.
Halfway line. Good ball for Scotland. Wiley. Campese back there. What's he going to do? Well, I saw him tuck that one away into touch. He has been penalised for that in the game against Ulster for deliberately throwing the ball into touch, but not so that time. He was simply releasing the ball in the tackle. 17.5 minutes gone in the second half. Beattie at the back. Cuthbertson drives in. Australia's way. Must have been an Australian knock-on.
Attention please, here is an urgent message for the parents of Mark Thompson and Vicky Bond of Campus Lang. Please go immediately to the police caravan. The parents of Mark
Wiley's kick straight to Gould. Why, I don't know. Gould won't worry about it. This is Peter Dodds. Australia's 24 points now has taken them past the highest test total of any major touring side in the British Isles. The South African Springboks from 1951-52. Parr Jones. Another one.
Well, they caught them napping there on a great try. And there's another man to be hard to keep pace with tonight.
The Australians are surely home now. We're only 18.5 minutes into the second half, and the Wallabies are running riot. Parr Jones scores his second try of this international series. Well, the Wallabies caught the Scots napping, and they almost caught me napping. I was looking at the Australian points total. As I was telling you, they have surpassed the South African Springboks of 51-52. They scored 75 points in their 4 internationals. As Liner lines this one up. From touch. Is it number 7? Well, he is mortal after all. Australia 28-12.
Here you see it head on the replay. Great little toss in there by Tommy Lawton. And Nick Farr-Jones does very well here. He steps outside the prop, although it's not that difficult. But then he runs straight over the bloke on the line.
Well, they say about Peter Stephen, he couldn't tackle a ham sandwich. That comment came from a former Scottish international. I don't think the Scottish winger had much chance, though, that time. Australia go again. They're playing with great confidence now. Ella back to Baird. He recovered well. Australia looking for the short line out. Scotland, the European Grand Slam champions in 1984, find themselves behind by 12-28. Australia on the verge of one of its greatest moments in rugby history, if not its greatest. Mark Ella. Slack wrapped up. Scottish backs offside. Slack looking for a quick one. But I think Michael Liner will come up and have another shot at goal. The Australians have now scored 91 points in the 4 internationals, surpassing the total by the South African Springboks of 75, the 51-52 side. And they're getting close to their record total of 33, which they recorded against the Scots at the SCG in 1982. And on that day, Paul McLean scored 21 points, and Roger Gould became the first fullback to score 2 tries from that position. Fittingly, Gould has been in everything today. Liner. Good. 31-12. And still 18 minutes to go in the match. What a performance by Michael Liner. The Australians have scored 19 points in nearly as many minutes in this second half. Liner. 5 penalties, 2 conversions. Cody taking play ahead. The Scots looking pretty demoralised now. Michael Liner very close to Paul McLean's Australian record with his 19 points. Farr-Jones to Ella. There's room here again. Laidlaw across. Toe through by Gould. Gould again. Soccer. Keep it going. Tyneman. The Scots in big trouble. Here it comes for Australia. Mark Ella goes in. Slack. Rodriguez couldn't hold on. But gold jerseys everywhere.
The machine's really rolling at the moment.
What an awesome display by the Wallaby forwards. Laidlaw's been put under enormous pressure by Farr-Jones.
He did very well there, Laidlaw. He was Farr-Jones all over him. He still managed to get the ball away. Shows some class of a man that's played an awful lot of test matches.
These 8th Wallabies will now be rated with the greatest touring teams ever. "16 minutes to go. Cuthbertson. Back to Laidlaw. Ran into his own man. Wiley under pressure. Wrapped up by the Australian cover. And Australia has the scrum feed. Very aggressive defence there from the Australians. Tyneman. Also David Cody, who came in for the first tackle. Tremendous game by Cody here this afternoon. He, by his own admission, was a shock selection for the Wallaby team. But he hasn't looked back. Ella. Field goal. It was a grubber. Laidlaw now to Dodds. He can have a run. Here's Peter Grigg. Covering very professionally that time. The man from Townsville hasn't had a lot to do today, but his experience has been invaluable.
I think Mark Ella was trying to say that I can kick field goals after his first attempt. I think he's probably would have been pleased if he hadn't had to go again.
Australia 31, Scotland 12. The Grand Slam is Australia's. There's no doubt about that. There's 14 minutes to go in the game. The Wallabies defeating England at Twickenham by 19-3. Ireland at Lansdowne Road by 16-9. And Wales at Cardiff, that smashing performance, by 28-9. But the scoreboard has been surpassed this afternoon. This great day for Australian rugby. The 8th of December 1984, Australia 31, Scotland 12. Eight metres inside Australian territory. Calder hasn't stopped trying. But this massive Wallaby pack, led by Big Steve Williams from the Manly Club in Sydney, has really smashed the Scottish forwards this afternoon. Here goes Beattie, into Cody. Penalty to Scotland against Cody for not allowing release of the ball. Are they going to run it? I think they are. They've got to. The crowd responds. 13 minutes to go. Wiley, Kennedy, Calder. Cuthbertson went in for it. Australia wait. Campisi. He's going to have a run, is he? That's dangerous. The French tried that against New Zealand in the second international and gave a try away. Poitevin going in there to settle things with John Jeffrey, who obviously irked the red-haired flanker.
Full marks there for Scotland. I mean, that was a tremendous effort, and probably a bit unlucky not to get that ball away at the end.
Beattie controlling at the back. Scotland has lost possession. Australia with the scrum feed. Well, David Campisi took the wrong option that time. But we can certainly forgive him for that. He's had a great tour. .29 minutes elapsed in the second half. Gould. Another great kick from Gould. Australia out of the danger zone. Great throw to Calder. Penalty to Scotland. Laidlaw, I think, is going to elect for another tap. Penalty goals aren't any good at this stage. 10 minutes to go. Scotland set it up. Calder, wrapped up by Cody. The ball came out Australia's way, but Scotland deserved the scrum feed. 30 metres out from the Australian goal line. Great spirit shown here by the Scots. Robertson. Nice stepper. Laidlaw. Cuthbertson. A lot of Australian cover, though. Wiley. Nice step. He beat Ella. Wiley. He went a bit too far. Now it's Jeffrey. What a surge by Scotland. Where's the ball? Laidlaw. Wiley. Robertson. Keep Robertson. Long pass. Look at the overlap. It must be a try. Baird slipped over. Well, the crowd.
I was just saying, some great rugby there from Scotland. I mean, they're throwing everything at Australia, and Australia, to their credit, of stopping everything they could throw at them.
The Wallabies have had their line crossed only once in this international campaign.
For an international game, you couldn't hope for more as a spectator. Scotland are down by a good number of points, and they haven't thrown the towel in. And Australia are hanging in there almost by the fingernails. It's over. They were a couple of points down.
So it's big Steve Williams, a massive figure in the Australian side. And look at Andrew Slack alongside him, giving him encouragement. The Scottish forwards have lifted for a final effort in the last quarter of this game. The crowd would dearly love to see a Scottish try. 31-12 Australia. 8 minutes to go in the game. Beattie again. Walking the Australian scum. Jeffrey. Caught by Cody. Beattie in there to maul. Scotland should have the feed. It's only 8 metres out from the Australian goal line.
You see the example of Cody's defence. I mean, he's one player that just doesn't give a yard. That's why he's been picked in this side. I mean, his defence is absolutely superb.
Laidlaw. Ella caught him that time. He got the pass away to Robertson, but Scotland in a bit of bother here. Beattie sets up. And still the Australians hold on. They're very proud of their defensive record.
The other person I must mention of the Australian forwards is Steve Williams. I mean, he's very much the unsung hero of the Australian team. He's had a superb tour, and he's led this forward pack immaculately for the 4 international games.
Bad pass from Beattie. Laidlaw's caught. Australia have it. Can they relieve the pressure here? Mark Ella does the flanker's job. Where's the ball? Scotland dive in. Scotland have it. Wiley kicks ahead. Griggs back there. Dead in goal.
And that'll relieve a bit of pressure. A long kick downfield.
Seven minutes to go. Australia 31, Scotland 12. The 8th Wallabies have won the Grand Slam. The first ever by an Australian team in 76 years of trying. Roger Gould requires attention. Well, if the celebrations went through to daylight after Cardiff by the Australians, I'd hate to think when they're going to end here on the 9th of December.
So do I, Gordon. We've got an all-night train trip coming up on Sunday night, so it's going to be a long couple of days, I feel.
There'll be a live telecast of the Australians' match against the Barbarians next weekend. Jeffrey put into touch. Finally judged kick by Liner. 34.5 minutes gone. Second half, Australia 31, Scotland 12. Just over 5 minutes remaining. Steve Tyneman at the front. Far Jones to Gould. Very close to the touchline. Dodds. They've got to do something here, Scotland. Back it goes to Gould. The Australians could run here. Campese. Too many Scottish defenders, but he's found open space. This is Robertson. A lovely stepper. Over halfway. Great play by Robertson. Milnes there. Peter Grigg intercepts. Mark Ella. Off they go. Campese. Tyneman. Campese. Can he get there? Beattie chasing. They won't catch him. Another Australian try. A record score against Scotland. What a passage of play. Campese's second try of the game.
To say anything would ruin that. Fantastic stuff.
Here it is now. It
The
was
replay.
a brilliant and brave counter-attack, but Peter Grigg, where did he come from? Mark Ella's pass away now to Campese, who combines with the bird. Steve Tyneman. And Campese, a 50-metre sprint. This man is magic. Australia's highest ever score against Scotland. And it also is Australia's highest score in a major international. Remembering they rattled up 49 points against the United States of America. Campese gets some of the magic water. One restaurateur in Canberra has named a steak dish after him, Filet Campese. He better start looking at the entree and the dessert, I think. Liner. Brilliant kick. He's like a machine, Michael Liner.
Doesn't hurt quite as much sitting in the stand with Michael Liner playing out there.
He's now equalled Paul McLean's record of 21 points in a test match. No bird soars too high if he soars with his own wings. And there's Campese with that ball in the crook of his elbow. Doesn't he love to run with the ball? 37 points to 12. The Scots have been soundly thrashed this afternoon. Liner with a big kick upfield to Wiley. He's hoisted. Gould again. What do you say about that man? Australia looking for the ball. Here it comes. No, Scotland have pilfered. Laidlaw. Overlap for Scotland. Kick through. Roger Baird. Will it be his first try for Scotland? Australia holding on here. And it's been cleared by Grigg. How demoralising for the Scottish side. They'll come again, though. Robertson. Offside Australia in front of the kicker. The Scots electing for the scrum. Kennedy. Tackled by Liner. Caller was there. Jeffrey. It's so dark you can hardly see the Scottish players. Here they go again. Kennedy. He should have passed it. Australia offside. Scotland will take the tap. Can they score this consolation try? Deans. Roy Laidlaw. About 45 seconds to go. The Bear, Ian Milne has knocked on. The final frustration for Scotland. Mark Ella to Gould. Grigg coming through. Australian forwards very slow to get there. Robertson. Kennedy now. What a gutsy performance by the Scottish side. They have never surrendered. Mark Ella. The players must be exhausted. Cody goes in. And Australia has the scrum feed. Time must be almost up on the clock. There's the grand slam for Australia. It's Australia's record-winning margin over Scotland too. Australia has done it. You beauty. 37 points to 12.